Obituary of the late Senior Chief Warrant Officer Virginia Nomsa Sebone. She was born on the 13th of July, 1961 in Alexandra Township. She is the firstborn of Nomasonto Dala. Her initiation into the military began in exile when she left the country through Botswana in 1977, then proceeded to Zambia in transit camp where she underwent military training. In 1985, she was recommended to study political science in German Democratic Republic. She was posted to serve in the ANC Department of Information and Publicity through Radio Freedom, where ANC messages were communicated to the people inside the country. She was also a member of the Women's League, Youth League, and an MK cadre. Senior Chief Warrant Officer Sebone joined the SANDF in 1995 with the rank of Staff Sergeant at Area Military Health Unit, Gauteng, and continued working in different SAMS units, including Area Military Health Unit, Northern Cape, and 7 Med Battalion Group. In 2000, she was transferred to the South African Military Health Service headquarters as Chief Clerk in the Office of the Surgeon General. In 2001, she was promoted to the rank of Warrant Officer Class 2. In 2005, she was promoted to Warrant Officer Class 1 and appointed as Regimental Sergeant Major at the Institute of Aviation Medicine. In 2007, she was appointed as Chief Warrant Officer at Military Health Support Formation. On the 1st of September 2012, she was appointed as Warrant Officer of the South African Military Health Service with the rank of Senior Chief Warrant Officer to date. Senior Chief Warrant Officer Sebone was married to the late Warrant Officer of the SAMS, Senior Chief Warrant Officer Moses Matume Sebone, who passed away on the 16th of June 2012. It was in exile where she met the love of her life, Moses Sebone. They got married and were blessed with 4 children, 2 daughters, Nomzamo and Mogadi, and 2 sons, Ritumezi and Mudiba. They also had 2 adopted children, Maki and Tabang. She met her untimely death after a short illness on the 9th of September 2020 at one military hospital in Pretoria. She is survived by her mother, 2 sisters, 2 brothers, 4 children, and 8 grandchildren. May her soul rest in peace. Hamba kahle Mkhonto.
Good morning to you all. Not being a military person myself, allow me to introduce myself as Nomzamo Sebone, the firstborn child of Nomsa Virginia Sebone. Now I'd like the opportunity to acknowledge the military chain and all protocol observed. After I was born, my mother left into exile to participate in the external effort at liberating South Africa from the scourge of apartheid. I, on the other hand, lived a life liberated of my mother for 12 years. Her absence weighed on me beyond what anyone could imagine. The last few years with a mother were the happiest in my life. I grew as a young woman and a mother. The regrown and loving relationship in a family home stabilized and allowed us to comfortably and constructively emote with each other. Such that as I look at my grandmother, my siblings, and her siblings, I realize that we all were indeed blessed with a woman who only wanted to love and care for us all.
Sasa Namsa Virginia Sebone, our tree is gone. She gave us shade from the piercing heat. She gave us food when we were hungry. She gave us strength when we were weak. She gave us hope when we were down. She gave us a home to run to when trouble came our way.
I knew Sergeant Major Sebone from a very long time. And I can say I agree with the summarized version that is contained in her obituary, particularly the external part when we were still way out beyond the borders of our country during those days. And she was very disciplined in her work. And then she had shown those leadership qualities that of course still had the great potential to develop even further. Amongst other things that she was very unique in was her very serious concern and she had a direct interest in the career management and career planning of her subordinates and fellow warrant officers within her service. She would now and again raise this point very, very sharply and to say, we seem to be dragging our feet when it comes to this. And she would really nudge and when it became necessary, pushed us very hard to pay serious attention to this. Her strength of character was very admirable, as other speakers before me has already indicated. She had a very, very strong character.
I just want to express great grief about the fact that I could not be able to be with the family after the pen had dropped. And the reason for that is purely because I, as she had been, was also a victim of COVID-19. The last time I spoke with her was on the 12th of September. And I said to her in the hospital that Virginia, as I used to call her, didn't call her Sasa, I didn't call her Nomsa, I didn't call her anything else. We used to talk and I used to call her Virginia. And I said to her on the 12th, you don't deserve to be in that ward. You deserve to be out there and working with me to change the SAMs. And her last words to me were, thank you very much, General. I'm so glad to hear from you. And in fact, you have lifted up my spirits. I think I'm going to ultimately get out of here to go and hold hands with you in guidance and the leadership of the SAMs. A woman who will remember, we will remember for her outstanding compassion for the needy, her care for all, her diligence at work, her unparalleled love and commitment in everything that she does, her uncompromising honesty and selflessness, and a relentless fighter against all obstacles. My first interaction at a closer level with Virginia was when she was a member of the SAMS Fund, of which I was the chairperson from 2016 until my appointment as the Surgeon General in November 2019. Her representation of the non-commissioned officers was pulsating. She literally wore her interests in all discussions and debates at the fund. Her advice and charting of the path to power in the fund was outstanding. Her absence from any of the fund meetings was more colder than ice itself. In my present appointment, Virginia showed me the side of her, the extent of which I never knew existed. Loyalty, discipline, patriotism, diligence, go-getter, passion and compassion, and a hard worker.
God, as we commit her body unto this grave, we commit the ashes to go back to the ashes and the dust back to the dust. Father, we pray for your abundant blessing.
Respect